A chance encounter, Olivia Foster fumbled with her keys, glancing anxiously at her watch. "Noah, honey, we need to hurry!" Her 7-year-old son was trailing behind, absorbed in his dinosaur action figure. The autumn wind whipped her chestnut, hair across her face as she juggled her purse, Noah's backpack, and the costume for his school play. "But, Mom, Rexy isn't ready for his performance," Noah protested, his freckled face scrunched in concentration. "Neither will you be if we don't. Move faster," Olivia sighed. At 34, she'd mastered the art of morning chaos, breakfast dishes abandoned in the sink, half-applied makeup, and the perpetual race against time. 3 years since Daniel walked out, claiming he wasn't cut out for fatherhood, and she was still learning to manage alone. The parking lot of Pinewood Elementary was nearly full. Olivia's ancient sedan sat in the far corner. A 15-minute walk on a good day. Today was not a good day. "Noah, stay close," she called, but when she turned, the space beside her was empty. Her heart lurched. "Noah?" A flash of his blue jacket caught her eye. He was running, not toward their car, but toward a sleek black Range Rover idling near the school entrance. Before she could shout, Noah had pulled open the passenger door and climbed inside. "Noah!" Olivia broke into a sprint, panic rising in her throat. Visions of abductions and Amber Alerts flashed through her mind as she reached the vehicle, yanking open the door with trembling hands. "Look, Mom, this car has screens in the back seats," Noah exclaimed, completely oblivious to her terror. Behind the wheels sat a man in his early 40s, with salt and pepper hair and startled gray eyes. He wore a tailored charcoal suit that screamed expensive, but his expression was more bewildered than threatening. "I'm so sorry," Olivia gasped, reaching for Noah. I don't know what he thought. "Noah, get out right now." "It's all right," the man said, his voice unexpectedly gentle. "He just surprised me." Noah reluctantly climbed out, still eyeing the car's interior. "Your car is awesome. Mine doesn't have any screens." The man's lips quirked. "Thank you for the review." Olivia pulled Noah close, her face burning with embarrassment. "I apologize for my son. He knows better than to get into strangers' cars." She shot Noah a pointed look. "But it looked like our new neighbor's car," Noah protested. "The one who moved into Mr. Peterson's old house?" The man's eyebrows rose. "That would be me, actually, Theodore Westfield." He extended his hand. "Though most people call me Theo." Olivia hesitated before accepting his handshake. "Olivia Foster. And this is Noah." Recognition flickered in Theo's eyes. "The blue house on Maple Street, with the tree house?" "That's us," Olivia confirmed, surprised. "We haven't formally met our new neighbor yet." "I keep odd hours," Theo admitted. "The joys of running a tech company." Noah's eyes widened. "Do you make video games?" Theo chuckled. "Enterprise software solutions, actually, much less exciting." The school bell rang, making Olivia jump. "The play! Noah, we're late." "I was headed in anyway," Theo offered. "I'm attending my niece's performance." "Second grade?" "First," Olivia corrected. "Noah's playing a tree." "A very important tree," Noah clarified seriously. Something in Theo's expression softened. "The most important role, I'd say. Supporting everyone else." For a moment, Olivia saw past the expensive car and tailored suit, catching a glimpse of something genuine. Then Noah tugged her hand, pulling her back to reality. "Well, thanks for being understanding about the car invasion," she said, already turning away. "Mrs. Foster?" Theo called. She paused, looking back. "It's been a long time since anyone trusted me enough to climb into my car without hesitation, even if it was a case of mistaken identity." His smile held a touch of melancholy that stayed with Olivia long after they'd rushed into the school auditorium, even as she watched Noah stand proudly among his classmates, the most dignified tree in the forest. Tentative connections. The autumn leaves crunched beneath Olivia's boots as she hurried down Maple Street, mentally rehearsing her excuses for being late to work again. Her boss at the dental office, Dr. Winters, had been understanding so far, but her patience was wearing thin. Olivia's second job at the bookstore barely covered groceries, let alone the mounting repair bills for their aging home. "Morning!" The deep voice startled her. Theo Westfield stood in his driveway, dressed in running clothes that looked barely worn. 2 weeks had passed since the car incident, and they'd exchanged polite waves but little else. "You're up early," Olivia remarked, slowing her pace despite herself. "I never really sleep," Theo admitted with a self-deprecating smile. "Occupational hazard." Noah had bombarded her with questions about their neighbor after the school play. A quick internet search had revealed that Theodore Westfield was the founder of Westfield Solutions, a cybersecurity company recently valued at billions. What the articles didn't explain was why such a successful man had moved to their modest suburb. Car trouble? Theo nodded toward her driveway, where her sedan sat with its hood propped open. Olivia sighed. "The starter's been temperamental. I was hoping it would hold out until payday." "I could take a look," he offered. "I used to restore classic cars before." He stopped abruptly. "Before you became a tech mogul?" Olivia finished with a small smile. "Something like that." His expression clouded briefly. "Where are you headed? I could give you a lift." Her instinct was to refuse. She'd learned the hard way that accepting help often came with expectations. But the alternative was being fired, and Noah needed new winter boots. "If it's not too much trouble," she conceded. The dental office on Elmwood Avenue. The interior of his Range Rover smelled of leather and something citrusy. Olivia sat stiffly, acutely aware of the contrast between Theo's world and hers. "Noah seemed to enjoy his role as a tree," Theo commented as they drove. "He has quite the stage presence." "He gets that from his father," Olivia said, then immediately regretted mentioning Daniel. "And where is he now?" Theo asked carefully. "Seattle, with his new family." The bitterness in her voice surprised her. "Sorry, that was unnecessary information." Theo shook his head. "Don't apologize for honesty." When they arrived at the dental office, Olivia reached for the door handle. "Thank you for the ride." "I meant what I said about looking at your car," Theo said. "No strings attached." She studied his face, searching for ulterior motives but finding none. "Why would you do that?" "Because neighbors help each other," he said simply. "And maybe I miss getting my hands dirty with engine grease." That evening, Olivia returned home to find her car not only fixed, but washed. Noah was perched on their front steps, chatting animatedly with Theo, who was showing him something on a tablet. "Look, Mom!" Noah exclaimed. "Mr. Westfield is teaching me how to code. I made a dinosaur move across the screen." Theo stood wiping, his hands on a rag. "Hope you don't mind. Noah saw me finishing up with your car." "Did you replace the starter?" Olivia asked, noting the receipt tucked under her windshield wiper. "And the battery," Theo confirmed. "It was on its last legs." Olivia took the receipt, her chest tightening at the total. "I can't accept this. It's too much." "Consider it payment for Noah's computer lessons," Theo interjected. "He's a quick study. Could have a future in programming." Noah beamed with pride. "Can Mr. Westfield come for dinner? I told him you make the best spaghetti." Olivia hesitated. Inviting this man, essentially a stranger, into their home felt like crossing a line she wasn't ready to cross. "Another time, perhaps," Theo said, reading her reluctance. "I have a conference call tonight." Relief and something like disappointment mingled in Olivia's chest. "Rain check, then." As Theo walked back to his house, Noah sighed dramatically. "He seems lonely, Mom." Olivia watched Theo's retreating figure. "What makes you say that?" "His house is so big and empty. And he has that same look you get sometimes when you think I'm not watching." Out of the mouths of babes. Olivia knelt beside her son. What look is that? Noah's expression turned serious beyond his years. Like you're remembering something sad. That night, after Noah was asleep, Olivia stood at her kitchen window. Theo's house was mostly dark, except for one upstairs window where a silhouette moved back and forth. She thought about what Noah had said and wondered what memories kept Theodore Westfield awake at night. The next morning, she left a container of spaghetti on his doorstep with a simple note. Rain check redeemed. Walls coming down. The first snowfall of December transformed Pinewood into a postcard-perfect scene. Olivia wrapped her scarf tighter as she trudged through the fresh powder toward the bookstore. The past month had brought unexpected changes to her routine. Theo had become a regular presence in their lives, helping Noah with science projects, fixing things around their house, and occasionally joining them for dinner. "You're smiling again," remarked Phoebe, her co-worker at Reader's Corner. "Is it the mysterious neighbor?" "He's just being kind," Olivia insisted, arranging a holiday display. "Billionaires aren't just kind without reason," Phoebe countered. "Have you Googled him thoroughly?" Olivia had, more than she cared to admit. Theodore Westfield had appeared in business journals and tech magazines, but his personal life remained remarkably private. No mentions of family beyond vague references to a personal loss several years ago. The bell above the door jingled, and Theo himself walked in, snowflakes dusting his dark wool coat. "Speak of the devil," Phoebe whispered, disappearing into the storeroom. "I was in the neighborhood," Theo explained, though the bookstore was nowhere near his office downtown. "Thought I'd pick up something for Noah. He mentioned wanting adventure books." "The Percy Jackson series is his current obsession," Olivia suggested. Theo browsed while Olivia helped other customers, occasionally glancing his way. There was something different about him today, a restlessness, a tension in his shoulders. When the store emptied, he approached the counter with a stack of books. "I got the whole series. Is that too much?" "It's very generous," Olivia said carefully. "But you've already done so much for us." Theo placed the books down. "Can we talk? Not here, but maybe coffee after your shift?" Something in his tone made her agree. 2 hours later, they sat in a quiet corner of Evergreen Cafe, steam rising from their mugs. "I haven't been entirely forthcoming about why I moved to Pinewood," Theo began. "It wasn't a career decision." Olivia waited, sensing his struggle. "I had a family once," he continued, his fingers tightening around his mug. "My wife, Emma, and our daughter, Sophie. 5 years ago, they were driving home from Sophie's ballet recital when a drunk driver hit them. Emma died instantly. Sophie survived for 3 days. Olivia's hand moved instinctively to cover his. "Theo, I'm so sorry." Sophie would have been Noah's age now, he said, his voice barely audible. "After I lost them, I buried myself in work. Built Westfield Solutions into what it is today. But success is hollow when you have no one to share it with." "Why Pinewood?" Olivia asked gently. "Emma grew up here. We were planning to move back eventually, give Sophie the same small-town childhood. After the accident, I couldn't bear the thought. But last year, on Sophie's birthday, I found myself driving through town, and it felt right, somehow." Understanding dawned on Olivia. "The house you bought, it wasn't random." Theo nodded. "It was the house Emma grew up in. Mr. Peterson bought it from her parents years ago." The pieces clicked into place, his interest in Noah, his generosity, his loneliness. "You're looking for connections to the life you lost." "I thought I was," Theo admitted. "But then Noah climbed into my car, and for the first time in 5 years, I started thinking about the future instead of the past." Across town, Noah was at a play date with his friend Jackson. The boys were building a snow fort in the backyard when Jackson's mother called them in for hot chocolate. Is that your dad who picks you up sometimes? Jackson asked, peeling off wet mittens. The one with the cool car? Mr. Westfield? No, he's our neighbor, Noah replied. My dad lives in Seattle. Oh. Jackson looked confused. But he comes to your science fair and stuff? Noah considered this. Mr. Westfield had indeed attended his science fair, beaming with pride when Noah's volcano won third place. He helped with homework, taught him coding, and even coached his soccer team when the regular coach got sick. He's not my dad, Noah said slowly. But sometimes it feels like maybe he could be. When Olivia picked Noah up later, she found him unusually quiet. Everything okay, buddy? She asked as they walked home. Noah kicked at the snow. Mom, do you like Mr. Westfield? He's been a good friend to us, Olivia answered carefully. No, I mean like how princesses like princes in movies. Olivia's cheeks flushed, and not from the cold. What brought this on? Jackson thought he was my dad, Noah said. And I was thinking, it wouldn't be so bad if he was, would it? Olivia stopped walking, stunned by her son's directness. Noah, relationships are complicated, but you smile more when he's around, Noah interrupted. And he laughs at your jokes even when they're not that funny. Despite herself, Olivia laughed. Thanks for the vote of confidence. That night, she stood at her kitchen window again, watching the lights in Theo's house. For the first time in years. She allowed herself to imagine a different future, one where the walls she'd built after Daniel left might come down, brick by carefully laid brick. The misunderstanding, January, brought bitter cold and unexpected complications. Olivia's carefully constructed world began to shift when she received a promotion at the dental office, one that would require evening classes to become a certified dental hygienist. It was the opportunity she'd been waiting for, a chance for financial stability, but the timing couldn't have been worse. I don't understand why I can't stay with Mr. Westfield while you're at class, Noah argued over breakfast. He said I could use his computer lab any time. It's not appropriate to impose on him like that, Olivia explained, though Theo had indeed offered when she mentioned her dilemma. The truth was more complicated. Since their coffee shop conversation, something had changed between them. Their interactions carried a new weight, pregnant with possibility. Olivia found herself noticing details, the way his eyes crinkled when he smiled, how his hand sometimes brushed hers when they walked side by side, the gentle way he listened when she spoke. It terrified her. Mrs. Hernandez agreed to watch you on class nights, Olivia said firmly. And that's final. Noah's face fell. But she doesn't even have internet. The doorbell rang, ending their argument. Theo stood on the porch holding a folder. Sorry to interrupt, he said, but I found something you might want to see. Inside the folder were brochures for a dental hygienist scholarship program, specifically for single parents. The application deadline is tomorrow, Theo explained. I took the liberty of starting the paperwork for you. Olivia flipped through the materials, a knot forming in her throat. How did you know about this? I made some calls, Theo admitted. The program would cover your classes and provide a stipend. You made calls? Olivia repeated, her voice cooling. About my personal situation, without asking me? Theo's expression faltered. I thought you'd be pleased. Mom, why are you mad? Noah asked, confused. Mr. Westfield is helping. Noah, go get ready for school, Olivia said without taking her eyes off Theo. When Noah reluctantly left, Olivia closed the folder. This is exactly what I was afraid of. What do you mean? Theo asked. This, swooping in with grand gestures, pulling strings, making decisions about my life. The words tumbled out, fueled by old wounds. I don't need rescuing, Theo. That's not what I was trying to do, he protested. Isn't it? The car repairs, the gifts for Noah, and now this? Olivia's voice trembled. What am I supposed to think? When you're essentially trying to buy your way into our lives? Theo recoiled as if slapped. Is that what you think I'm doing? What else should I think? You lost your family and now you're… What? Shopping for a replacement? The moment the words left her mouth, Olivia knew she'd gone too far. Theo's face drained of color. I have never, not for one moment, thought of you and Noah as replacements for Emma and Sophie. Theo, I didn't mean… I think you did. His voice was eerily calm. Thank you for clarifying where we stand. He walked out, leaving the folder on her table. That evening, Phoebe listened as Olivia recounted the disastrous conversation. You know you overreacted, right? She said bluntly. He overstepped, Olivia insisted. Did he? Or did he use his resources to help someone he cares about? Phoebe challenged. Not everyone has an agenda, Liv. Daniel did, Olivia said quietly. Theo, isn't Daniel? Phoebe pointed out. Maybe it's time to stop punishing him for your ex-husband's sins. For 2 weeks, Theo's house remained quiet. His car left early and returned late. Noah asked about him daily, his disappointment growing when Olivia had no answers. Then came the snowstorm, the worst in decades. Schools closed, roads became impassable, and the aging furnace in Olivia's house finally gave up. By nightfall, the temperature inside had dropped to dangerous levels. We need to call Mr. Westfield, Noah said, huddled under blankets. We'll be fine, Olivia insisted, though her teeth were chattering. The repairman will come tomorrow. But we're freezing now, Noah argued. And Mr. Westfield has a fireplace. I saw it when he showed me his house. Pride warred with practicality as Olivia stared at her phone. Finally, she dialed Theo's number, but it went straight to voicemail. He's probably still mad, she murmured. Or maybe he can't hear his phone, Noah suggested. We should go check. Bundled in every layer they owned, they trudged through knee-deep, snow to Theo's house. The lights were on, but no one answered their knocks. His car's here, Noah pointed out. Maybe he's in his office. He wears headphones sometimes. Trying the door, Olivia was surprised to find it unlocked. They stepped into the warmth gratefully. Theo? She called. It's Olivia and Noah. I'm sorry to barge in, but our furnace died. No answer. They moved further into the house, Noah leading the way to Theo's home office. The door was ajar, and Olivia could hear voices, Theo's and a woman's. Never should have come here, the woman was saying. It was a mistake to think you could start over. I know that now, Victoria, Theo replied, his voice tight. The house is on the market. Once it sells, I'll be back in the city. Good. The board is concerned about your extended absence, and these entanglements with locals aren't helping your focus. Noah pushed the door open before Olivia could stop him. You're selling your house? He asked, his voice small. Theo and the elegant woman turned in surprise. Noah, Theo said, rising from his desk. What are you doing here? Our furnace broke, Noah explained. Mom didn't want to bother you, but it's really cold at our house. The Yaki-eyed woman, Victoria, raised an eyebrow. I should go. We'll continue this discussion at the office tomorrow. After she left, an awkward silence filled the room. You're moving away? Noah asked again, his lower lip trembling. Theo knelt to Noah's level. I'm considering it, yes. Because Mom got mad at you? Olivia winced. Noah, that's not… Partly, Theo admitted, his eyes flicking to Olivia. But mostly because I realized I might have made a mistake thinking I could find what I was looking for here. Noah's face crumpled. But we're here. Isn't that enough? The raw honesty of a child cut through the tension, leaving both adults speechless. Family redefined. February's thaw brought changes to Maple Street. The for sale sign appeared in Theo's yard, confirming the rumors that had circulated through Pinewood. Olivia watched from her window as potential buyers toured the house, each visit feeling like a countdown to an inevitable goodbye. The scholarship papers sat unsigned on her desk. Pride and fear had kept her from applying, despite Phoebe's urging. Without Theo's quiet presence in their lives, a strange emptiness had settled over Olivia and Noah. "I miss him," Noah confessed one night, clutching the coding book Theo had given him for Christmas. "I know, buddy," Olivia whispered, stroking his hair. "I do too." The furnace repair had stretched their budget to breaking point. When the kitchen pipe burst the following week, flooding the lower level, Olivia finally broke down. Sitting among soggy cardboard boxes, she wept for everything: the house she couldn't afford to fix, the opportunity she'd rejected out of stubbornness, and most of all, the man she'd pushed away because she was too afraid to trust again. The doorbell rang. Wiping her tears, Olivia opened it to find Phoebe holding a bottle of wine. "Thought you might need this," her friend said, stepping inside. She surveyed the water damage with a whistle. "Well, this is biblical." "I can't even afford a plumber," Olivia admitted. "I'm thinking of asking my parents for a loan." Phoebe poured 2 glasses. "Or you could swallow your pride and talk to Theo. He's selling his house, moving back to the city." Olivia took a long sip. "Besides, after what I said—" "You apologize," Phoebe said simply. "Adults do that sometimes. It's not that easy." "It never is," Phoebe agreed. "But is your pride worth losing someone who cares about you? About Noah?" The question haunted Olivia all night. By morning, she'd made her decision. Leaving Noah with Phoebe, she drove to Westfield Solutions' downtown headquarters. The receptionist eyed her warily. "Do you have an appointment with Mr. Westfield?" "No, but it's important," Olivia insisted. "Tell him Olivia Foster is here." After several tense minutes, she was escorted to the top floor. Theo's office was a stark contrast to his warm home, all glass and chrome, with city views that emphasized the distance between their worlds. He stood when she entered, surprise evident on his face. "Olivia, is everything all right? Is Noah—" "Noah's fine," she assured him quickly. "I came to apologize." Theo gestured to a chair, but Olivia remained standing. "What I said that day about you trying to replace your family, it was cruel and untrue," she began. "I was scared because you were getting too close, making me feel things I'd sworn never to feel again after Daniel left." Theo's expression softened slightly. "I never meant to pressure you." "You didn't," Olivia admitted. "That was the problem. You were patient and kind and perfect, and I kept waiting for the other shoe to drop. When you offered help with the scholarship, it felt like you were trying to fix me, like I was broken." "That wasn't my intention," Theo said quietly. "I know that now," Olivia said. "I've spent 3 years defining myself by what Daniel took from me. My confidence, my trust, my belief in happy endings. But you never saw me as broken. You saw possibilities I was too afraid to see." Theo stood and moved closer. "Why are you telling me this now?" "Because I don't want you to sell your house and leave Pinewood thinking that Noah and I didn't care," Olivia said, her voice breaking. "Because my son misses you terribly. Because She faltered. "Because you what?" Theo pressed gently. "Because I think I'm falling in love with you," Olivia whispered. "And that terrifies me more than anything." Theo's face transformed, hope replacing resignation. "Do you know why I was selling the house?" Olivia shook her head. "Because loving you and Noah, watching you from a distance, knowing you saw me as some kind of threat, was more painful than the emptiness I felt before." He took her hands in his. "I thought I moved to Pinewood to reconnect with my past. Instead, I found a future I never imagined possible." "What are you saying?" Olivia asked, hardly daring to hope. "I'm saying I already called the realtor this morning to take the house off the market," Theo revealed. "Victoria, my COO, was right about one thing. I don't belong in the city anymore. I belong on Maple Street, as close to you and Noah as you'll allow me to be. Olivia felt years of fear and doubt begin to dissolve. Noah will be ecstatic. And you? Theo asked, his eyes searching hers. I'm not promising it will be easy, Olivia warned. I'm still learning how to trust again. We have time, Theo assured her. All the time we need. 3 months later, as spring blossoms appeared on Maple Street, Olivia stood in her newly renovated kitchen. The scholarship had come through, not because of Theo's influence, but because she'd finally believed herself worthy of applying. The dental office had worked around her class schedule, and the bookstore had reluctantly accepted her resignation. Noah burst through the door, followed by Theo carrying a science project. Mom! We made a working volcano that uses real chemical reactions, not just baking soda. No eruptions in the house, Olivia warned, but she was smiling. Later, after Noah was asleep, Olivia and Theo sat on the porch swing, watching fireflies appear in the twilight. I got a call from the adoption agency today, Theo said casually. A 7-year-old girl named Zoe. Her foster placement is ending next month. Olivia looked at him in surprise. They had discussed fostering, a someday dream, she'd thought. They said we could meet her next week, Theo continued, if you're ready for that step. Are you sure? It's a big commitment, Olivia said carefully. Theo took her hand, running his thumb over the simple engagement ring he'd given her last month. When Noah ran into my car that day, he wasn't just mistaking it for your neighbors. The universe was correcting its course, bringing together 3 people who needed each other. Olivia leaned against his shoulder. 4 people now, maybe. Family isn't about replacing what we've lost, Theo murmured. It's about creating something new from the pieces we have left. As the stars appeared overhead, Olivia thought about how a single moment, a little boy climbing into the wrong car, had changed everything. Their story hadn't followed any fairy tale script. There had been no lonely billionaire searching for a ready-made family, no damsel needing rescue. Instead, there were just people, flawed, hopeful, brave, finding the courage to begin again. I think I'm ready to meet Zoe, Olivia said softly. And in that moment, on a porch swing on Maple Street, a new definition of family was written. Not in the stars, but in the brave hearts of those willing to risk loving again.